Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW Podcast. Rate looks very confused on the screen right now for anyone who is watching. Go back and watch that because that was fun. But this week, we are going to be reviewing Friday Night Smackdown, Monday Night Raw, and Tuesday Night Dynamite from AEW. So, without further ado, roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. So, as I said before, we are going to be covering this week's wrestling. But first, I am with my good co-host, Rate. How are you doing this week, buddy?
I'm living the dream as usual. Just going by in wrestling. Looking forward to our TEW series, which I'm looking forward to, and just generally getting on Twitch. That'll be the goal.
Yeah, it'll be good to get streaming once I've got the database fully sorted, which is a very big work in progress. But we're getting there. Hopefully, sometime next week we should be in a place where we can go. So yeah, that'll be good fun. We'll get DP aligned with that. Make sure he's available so we can actually do it all together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's having his show auto booked.
He is.
But yeah. I think we are just about ready to go with this week's wrestling. So do you want to start us off with SmackDown?
I can do, and I'm going to remember on the screen to do the slideshow this time, so I'm not 5 minutes behind. I've said it now, I've probably already forget by halfway through. So yeah, SmackDown. So it kicked off with the murder of Karrion Kross. Literally, Drew McIntyre murdered the man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You can't see the image on the screen right now, but Karrion Kross is dead. So yeah, it started with a car accident, which we don't know what actually happened with that. And then Drew McIntyre just absolutely obliterated Karrion Kross.
Yeah. It was a way to start the show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously there was supposed to be the Fatal 4-Way match later on in the show with Karrion Kross, so they're hinting at it for the whole show. Is he going to be in it? Which we'll get to that at that point. Then it goes straight to the Bloodline. Three members of Bloodline, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn. They were just discussing last week's what occurred. How Sami got really annoyed that Jey didn't help to win. And then the Tribal Chief phones Sami, and Sami's proper stooging on Jey right in front of him. Absolutely stooging on him. Then he speaks to Jey, and Jey's like a child when he's on the phone to Roman Reigns, like, I'm not, I didn't mean it, it's okay, and we'll make you win. And then Solo Sikoa was just there, just looking into this, and it's being hard.
Just menacing.
Yeah. So straight away, we kicked off with all my images are spoilers because I've just picked out. It just shows how they win. But yeah, so we had Kingston versus Sami Zayn. It was a 3-star match. I really enjoyed it. It was competitive, and I really liked the story about it. The story of obviously Jey actually was really trying for Sami to win. He tried all the things, and eventually Sami did pick up the win because he was rolled up. Kingston rolled him up, but then Jey kind of did like a weird kick and pushed him over, and then Sami picked up the win. So what do you think of the match?
It went a decent length as well, which I was happy about. It wasn't like one of these short ones where they just cheat and win. They give him time, which is, like we said, we've been saying for weeks, is the theme of SmackDown. The match itself was fine. Enjoyed it. Yeah,
exactly. Then we had a weird segment, which I enjoyed at the same time, where Rey Mysterio's popped up on SmackDown, gone to Triple H and just went, I quit. And then Triple H is like, we'll sort something out, Rey. Come on. Your son may have betrayed you and, has kicked you continuously, but we'll sort you something out. And they disappear into the HH office. This was followed by a actual, just a usual squash match it was Strowman versus Thomas and Maverick. Can't remember their actual proper names. I don't know if you've got them listed there.
No.
That's how much you care about this. That's good.
Smash, move on.
Yeah, it literally was, and I've also lost where I was in my notes, which is fun, so you're going to see me start flipping it over like an idiot here. Here we are, so it's going to be there, because that's Dynamite. This is... No, I'm not editing. Tuesday. I'm not editing this, by the way. This is live and in colour. Here we go. So Drew McIntyre. Yep. So then we were from that, and then we had Omos So Omos's quality, according to MVP, is tall. That's the rivalry we're having. Omos is tall. Let's move on. So we had another segment backstage. I didn't enjoy this part of it because Sami Zayn basically said Jey Uso did nothing, which I can get it, but it was also like, is everyone blind? Like Jey, clearly, like, you know. And then so it's like, yeah, you did nothing, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, come on, at least be serious about it. Like, if it was slightly kind of like it was obvious that Jey Uso helped him win the match. There wasn't like a slight, it would just happen, so it was kind of a bit odd.
Yeah, and it's not like they can't see replays of where he's tried to help him. No. I mean, they're not living under a rock.
So it was just an odd thing. This was followed by a match between the returning LA Knight, and I'm going to call it a returning. The Triple M thing didn't happen in my eye with LA Knights.
Versus... well, you'll have to discuss that with DP.
Where is DP?
In the bin.
So yeah, it was him versus Mansoor. It was alright. I rated it like 1 3/4. It was just there to get LA Knight over. And then LA Knight had like an interview straight afterwards with himself, which basically saying he's back in the game, which he is, and I'm hoping he'll never need to touch M&M ever again. Straight on from this, we had Damage Control versus Shotzi Blackheart, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez is her name. It's only just clicked in my mind, which is really bad because I haven't been watching NXT, that Roxanne Perez is Roxy from Ring of Honor. I was halfway through the match, I went, oh yeah, that's Roxy. I felt bad for saying, but yeah. It was an average 2.5 match. I didn't care for it that much. I'll be honest.
It did what it needed to do for Damage Control. That was all this match was ever going to be.
Yeah. And then, if I remember, I don't think I've written it down, which I'm surprised by. They had the Pick Your Poison matches for NXT, and prior to this, Roxanne Perez picked Raquel Gonzalez to be the Poison for Cora Jade. NXT looked great, by the way. I need to actually watch it. Like, it looks stacked.
Yeah, no, it did look good.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a go at some point. This was followed by an absolute squash match, which I was really surprised by, which was Legado del Fantasma's Raul Mendoza and Cruz del Toro versus Hit Row's Top Dollar and Ashanti Adonis. Like, they had a bit of offense, but then Top Dollar got absolutely blattered, which I was really surprised by. Like, I thought they'd do it on Ashanti Adonis, but they kind of just battered Top Dollar. But fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to do stuff like this to get Legado del Fantasma over with like what you class as a newer audience. But you brought Hit Row back like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you just made them look silly.
And you're squashing them. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I rated 1 star. It was just there. This was followed by Liv Smash. Like, literally, like, Liv, not just normal Smash, though, like, as in, like, she battered the hell out of Sonya Deville, grabbed a ladder and put her through a table. What is happening?
Yeah. I like this, though.
Yeah, I loved it, but it was like, what?
You're making a legit again. Like, because that match with Rousey at Extreme Rules was good, and it made her look legit. And now she's carrying it on. And the one thing I didn't want to happen was to, like, fade into the background and go back. They've showcased her massively here, and she's just smashed on the Deville.
Exactly. And like, it was just cool, but it was also like, it was just so out of the blue. I enjoyed it because I think she's having a mental breakdown, which is good. That's always good in wrestling, mental breakdowns. And then the main event, so they replaced Karrion Kross because he couldn't make it because he got murdered. So it was Rey Mysterio replacing Karrion Kross versus Ricochet versus Sheamus versus Soa. So instantly, as soon as I saw Ricochet in this, I knew whoever was winning was beating Ricochet. And I wasn't wrong. I rated 3 1/4 stars. Rey Mysterio picked up the win. There was a bit of chaos between the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline. So that's I'm happy to see that as a story as well. If Sheamus goes after Roman, I wouldn't mind that as a match.
No, absolutely not, because it'd be banger after banger after banger.
Oh, I thought you were going to put the accent on. And yeah, it was just good. Very good matchup. And it rounded off a good SmackDown in the sense of match-wise. There was a very surprising promo at the end of SmackDown. And I really enjoyed it, I'm going to be honest, because I didn't expect it at all. It was like a proper heartwarming, like Bray Wyatt was Mike Rotunda, not Mike Rotunda, Wyndham Rotunda, sorry. He wasn't IRS. That wasn't his new gimmick. He came down as IRS. But yeah, it was just legitimately him. He said like he thought his career was over. And he thought like everything he did was for nothing, like no one cared about his stuff. But when he's come back, obviously the fans have loved him. And stuff like that, and it was like proper heartwarming. He looked like he was going to cry at one point, and then it was like proper legitimate. And out of nowhere, his masked friend comes on the screen and does these. I can't remember what he actually said, and then it just Smackdown ends.
Yeah.
So the interest,
it was good.
Yeah, the interest in Wyatt is incredible at the moment. Like everything he does.
Yeah, I was going to say he only has to appear. He doesn't even have to speak. If he just turns up on the screen, you're interested straight away. But going back to the 4-way, are you looking forward to Gunther absolutely chopping Rey Mysterio to the top of the arena? Like literally just hitting him like that, and Rey Mysterio's gone.
I honestly think he's going to chop him in the face. I don't like. It's going to like it's so low for Gunther to slap because Rey's about 5'3", isn't he? And Gunther's about 6'4" or something, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's going to be incredible.
He's going to literally, it's going to be like he's playing baseball, but with his arm.
I'd love to see the spot, but it would never happen in wrestling ever again. The Bam Bam Big O Spike Dudley spot where he just picks him up and throws him into the crowd. But it's never going to happen in wrestling again. Well, in main wrestling. It will happen in indie. But yeah, he's going to absolutely obliterate him, and it's going to be hilarious. But Ray will put on a good match for him as well. Like Ray's insane, so it'll be great. But yeah, that was the end of SmackDown. It wasn't fantastic, but there was bits in it that were good. As I said, the Bray Wyatt, the Fatal 4-Way, the Bloodline storyline's always good.
I'm not expecting everything to be good every single week on SmackDown. It's not going to happen. We've had a lot of consistently good shows from SmackDown. So when you get a bit of a down week like this, like the Sami Zayn match was great. Enjoyed it. The storyline stuff made up for what the wrestling was lacking, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, they rounded it off with a great Bray Wyatt segment. You know, everyone was waiting for it. I genuinely thought he wasn't going to appear at one point. I thought it was just going to be another him just being in like an image or something. But good they did. But yeah, probably should move on to Raw then.
Yes, let's go for Raw.
And we kicked off with Bobby Lashley murdering Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, we did.
Honestly, Brock Lesnar had the upper hand on Lashley for probably about 20, 30 seconds, and then Lashley absolutely blattered the man, put him through a table, and then they had to get, it wasn't just because it's two big hosses, they had to get actual wrestlers down to stop the action, which is good. I like that. So you had the New Day and stuff down there going, stop, because we're at
instead of Mike Chioda pushing Bobby Lashley back.
Hold on, don't talk bad about Mike. Don't talk about my head official. Oh, out of context, that makes no sense. My head official of my TEW franchise.
Yeah.
And then we kicked off straight away after that with the OC back in action, but not AJ, the Good Brothers. And what I liked about this, and I like about the Triple H era, they mentioned that Gallows and Anderson are the Good Brothers, and that's their name, which is good because beforehand you wouldn't have ever heard that ever again. It would just be Gallows and Anderson. That would be it.
Yeah.
This was fine. It was an average match. Decent return for the Good Brothers, and obviously Chad Gable's there to be the I would call him the what's the call the gatekeeper. He's literally the gatekeeper of wrestling at the moment. As soon as someone comes back, they fight Chad Gable.
Yeah.
And then he loses, but he makes him look good. Yeah. 2.5 stars, just average matchup. This was followed by the Judgment Day coming down, discussing just general stuff. They've challenged the OC to a match at the Crown Jewel, which they've accepted. And then AJ Styles challenged Dominic Mysterio to a match, and I was like, good grief. Dominic
Mysterio's about to have his best match.
Yeah, and then the worst thing was Dom was, I love this story with Rhea. Dom was like, and then Rhea went, you've got this. And he went, I'll kick your ass. And he was like, so yeah, this was followed by Rollins coming down, discussing obviously winning the title, and like everything happens for a reason. He is going to face Matt Riddle tonight and beat him. That's his general gist. And here comes Mustafa Ali, the most undeserved title man in the world.
He's not won a match in months.
Yeah, look, he challenged Bobby Lashley when I deserve a chance. Bobby Lashley walked the floor with him, and then he's come down to Rollins and challenged him a lot. I'm going to come down next week.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The match is going to be great, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like Chad Gable. Like, not saying he's had great matches, but it's like Chad Gable suddenly coming out and going, "I deserve a title shot." It's like, Chad, you haven't won ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this ended up with Ali attacking Seth Rollins. So it's about in that, and obviously Seth Rollins kind of beat the crap out of him after that. So
yeah,
good times. Straight up after this, we had Damage Control, which was just the tag team version of Kaylee Ray, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Io Sky. And they were facing LeRae and Bianca Belair. And I was really surprised the tag team champions actually won this match, and Triple H is doing the right thing. The tag team champions are winning matches against random thrown together single stars.
Yeah.
That's how it should work.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from me. I don't know, we're on the wrong series now. Yeah, it was good. It was 2 3/4 I rated it. Bailey got involved. It was just a general, just good matchup.
Yeah.
It was fine. And Candice LeRae, it's the same name. Took the fall, which you were expecting. To be honest, they aren't making Candice as strong as I expected her to bring her back. She has been picking up losses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with her and what the plan is overall, but they need to be doing a little bit of a better job, I think.
The only thing I can think of is if they throw her into Damage Control. Because like the NXT kind of style of it. We were next up with so there was a few things that happened. I've only got one image on the screen, but Riddle was basically saying he beat himself, but he's gonna win the title because Seth Rollins is a dick. Then Ali comes across and Riddle was going, if I win the title, Ali, you'll get a title shot. And it was like, okay, Ali, fine. And then in the corner, you see a man lying on the floor holding his knee. And this is the image you've got on the screen. The Miz is injured. He's supposed to be fighting Dexter Lumis tonight, but suddenly he's got a knee injury. Yeah, and it was like, oh, it hurts. Oh, I don't know what's happened. This was followed up by JBL of all people. Like, I love JBL. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have heard the stories, but I love JBL's character and everything like that. Like, and his theme. I'm such a JBL mark.
Just tell him if you ever speak to him to get some trousers that fit him.
All I'm going to tell him is Wrestling God. I'm going to throw out. I'm plugging our TEW series continuously here. If JR retires straight away, I'm bringing in JBL. I can't. Anyway, he's a Cullen commentator, isn't he? Oh, God. Can't have JBL and Jerry the King Lawler. Jesus wept. So JBL did like a proper heel promo because he was. I don't know where they were. They were in like Oklahoma, I think it was. Or something really southern.
Yeah, they were in Oklahoma.
And then JBL was ripping the shreds out and going, you could, like, Texas is just there, why don't you move?
Yeah.
And then he announces that he's kind of, like, managing the returning Baron Corbin. And I expected kind of a big change from Baron Corbin. All they've done is change his gear. And I was quite sad about this, I'm going to be honest. And the match was quite disappointing. Like, I rated 2 3/4, but like for a match where you're kind of building up Baron Corbin, is like he's back and he's fighting Dolph Ziggler, it just seemed a bit pants. Even though I rated 2 3/4 stars.
I think this is the start of Baron Corbin being pushed back towards the main event.
It does do, but his gear, his gear's not good. I'd rather it. Do you know old school Baron Corbin in NXT where we just take the tank top off? He's got tattoos everywhere. He looks good. Don't know why he's there. Yeah, it just looks odd. But yeah, I'm hoping JBL sticks around. The commentary did say he's kind of associated with him, so I hope he does stick around. And I want to see a clothesline hammer hell at some point.
Yeah.
Or a tag team match. Oh, JBL and a tag team. Oh,
Nice.
I'm going to mark out. Of all people, you've heard me about JBL. So we were followed up with Byron Saxton interviewing The Miz backstage. The Miz is on the table with him holding his knee, going, he can't wrestle tonight. General, basically whinging out of this matchup. Johnny Gargano comes in the doorway and goes, "Look, it's Dexter Lumis." Miz just stands up, perfectly fine. And he went, "Oh, yeah, you must be fine." And Byron Saxton, "Well, you can have your match tonight." And Miz is like, "Yeah, I'm going to beat him." Next up, we had the OC with Cameron Grimes, of all people, popping up. I love this segment because Cameron Grimes is still rich, and the OC were like, "Pay us money and I'll come along." It was just legit, like, "How much do you want to pay us and we'll be here?" We're all about the money. Yeah. Fair enough. So the OC did appear on NXT.
Yeah.
Straight up after this, we went straight to another OC matchup. It was Styles versus Dominic. I don't know if I'd say this is Dominic's best matchup, but it's up there. I can't remember if he's had a better matchup. I just don't want to stick my hat on saying this is his best matchup. But he was against AJ Styles, so it probably was. I'll be honest, I rated it was 3 stars, but it felt like a slog at the same time. It was weird. It's a weird way of saying it was 3 stars, but it was a slog.
Yeah, they worked hard for them 3 stars.
Yeah. And the finish was good. I really enjoyed the finish.
Yeah.
Rhea being his pappy.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that was always... As soon as the match was booked, you knew what was going to happen. So,
yeah, definitely.
But no, the match was solid. I'd say it's Dominic's best match.
Yeah. And it's fine with Dominic at the moment. I'm still on the fence of if I care, I'm going to be honest. But they're getting there with it. It's just a weird faction in general, isn't it, really? In essence,
what I'm trying to picture is when you put these people together, the thing I always look at is how's it going to end? Not what happens in the middle. How are they going to end it? And I still don't see how they end this where it makes Dominic look good. I don't see where it comes from. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And I don't know if this happened. I haven't noted it down, so I don't know when it happened on the show. Cora Jade picked Rhea Ripley to be Roxanne Perez's Pick Your Poison. I was very surprised because Rhea Ripley, obviously due to... There's not been much talked about it, but obviously she was wearing a heart monitor and stuff like that, so there's not been much talk, but she had a 12-minute match on NXT, so she must be back. Yeah, which is good, because I miss seeing Rhea Ripley in the ring.
It was a good match as well on NXT, apparently, from what I've been reading, so I'm probably going to check that out. Probably just going to watch the show, because like you said, it was quite stacked, and it looked like NXT's really improving at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously you got Halloween Havoc coming up, which I'm probably going to watch as well, It's just going to be a ball out to predict because I haven't watched it in so long. So straight after this, we had The Miz, and the Gargano was telling him that he needs to tell him the truth. They were hinting towards this, but The Miz weren't having it. It panned after the break to Lumis coming down, and then the Miz absolutely whammos him from the anchor man. That's when we go, whammy! With a chair, absolutely clocks him. Beating the crap out of Lumis, then he skull-crushing finalizes him on the chair, and that's the end of that match. So it doesn't happen, and Lumis doesn't I'm glad they didn't make him into Superman. He actually got battered and he stayed down, which is good. Yeah, because he's not like Strowman, he's a bit of a psychopath, but he's going to get hit. He's not like Thingy from Halloween, Mike Myers, even though he portrays it a bit. Before we got to a backstage with The Miz, we had Damage Control had a bit of a backstage segment where they were discussing the whole, where's Oscar? Where's Bliss? We've got rid of them. We're going to get rid of the next people like Belair and Candice LeRae. Everything, there's nothing that's missing on Raw right now, as in like hit or miss. There's nothing really missing. I'm enjoying every part of it, and it's 3 hours and I'm fine to watch it. This was up with Johnny Gargano and The Miz backstage. They were just discussing the Miz needs to tell the truth. You're not going to stop Lumis doing this. You need to tell the truth. I really am. I don't know what it's going to be. I can't even picture what it can be. No.
I think it's gone on too long. I think I said weeks ago I'm sort of tuned out to it now. I just want it to end.
So it's missing, are you saying?
Yeah. For me, that's been missing for a while. But it is like if I was being picky, that's the one thing.
Yeah. Next up, we had the return of Walk with Elias. Is that beard real?
Yes.
You think he's grown it that quick? He's gone back? So that makes me sad if it's real. Like, this is decades worth of. So we had the Walk with Elias segment. He was about to sing a song, and then Riddle comes down with his bongos. And the main line we took away from this is Riddle wants Elias to hit his bong. Elias was about to play a song. There was a general gist of this. And then here comes our man, Seth Rollins. And this is the match of the night. He had a match with Riddle. We're at 3.25 stars. It ended with basically what happened was Seth Rollins super kicked Elias, got back in the ring, he fought Riddle for a bit, and then Elias got in the ring, he bumped Riddle on accident, and then Seth Rollins ended up picking the win with a stomp, I believe. Good match, and it just continues the reign of Seth Rollins, which I'm great about because, you know, I'm going back to my Twitch series. Yeah. My champion. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, I mean, I said, I think it was last week, wasn't it, where I said that he needed a title run of some form, Rollins, and then he won the US title. Obviously, we've foreshadowed that a little bit and maybe spoiled it because obviously we knew he was getting it. But yeah, I'm glad that they're giving him the run. It'll make the US title better, and it was already getting better. Triple H seems to be focusing more on mid-card titles and making them matter. Yeah. And that's what you need. If you don't have your mid-card titles, how are your people below getting elevated? They've got to have something to fight for.
Yeah, he's doing the smart things, though. Look, instantly, Triple H era started. Where's the 24/7 title? Binned. Mm-hmm. Like, gone. Awful title. Like, awful, like, hardcore 24/7, perfect. This 24/7, crap.
I think 24/7 can serve a purpose if it's done right.
Yeah, I just loved it in the hardcore 24/7 era because it was fun and like there being a bar or like a wacky warehouse, you know, and it'd be fun. Whereas this was just interview segments, Crash Hard, like the Crash Hardy, the whole thing of him running away and like just about keeping the title. Referees, Mae Young going after him, it was brilliant. But Raw, good again. Like it was better than SmackDown, I'd say. The overall aim of it,
which is very rare these days because SmackDown's always good because it's 2 hours. But like a 3-hour Raw probably did outshine it this week. So it's a rare occasion that it happens, but no, I'm glad when it does.
Yeah. So we'll move on to Dynamite. I'm trying to get sound bites. So yeah, Dynamite. What I don't normally do because I watch it the next morning. I go in Cage Match. I don't look at the results. I just kind of copy and paste them to my website. And instantly, I saw there was only 4 matches on this card, and I was kind of like, okay. So we kicked off straight away with the Best Friends versus Death Triangle. I'm classing Orange Cassidy is in the Best Friends. For some reason in Cage Match, they just say the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy is in the Best Friends. Come on, lads.
Like, yeah, I know he is.
Like, it's stupid. I rated it 3.25 stars. Very good opener. Good tag team action. They made Best Friends the team, the actual tag team side of it. Chuck and Trent look good again because they've been wayward for ages at the moment. Lucha Brothers are always a highlight, and Pac obviously is Pac. So, you know, and then Cassidy's obviously the champ at the moment. So, just a good opener. And Death Triangle retained the titles. There was a weird part with Danhausen appearing, with Pac trying to get the hammer and Danhausen revealing himself after 15 different items of clothing. Was that this week? That might have been last week.
I feel like I've seen that last week.
I think it was the week before. Yeah, forget that. But yeah, it was just a good match. We had a segment with the Baker clan backstage, which was just literally, this is my summarization of it. One of us. That's all she kept mentioning. Like, one of us is going to win the title. One of us is one of us. It's like, okay. But yeah, so either Hayter or Baker are going to win a title, and it's obviously never going to happen because they're going to fall out at some point. It can't be.
They need to like get that done. Mm-hmm. Because we've been saying for weeks now that Hayter needs to sort of get away from them and go on her own. And she's over enough. People love her. So just do it. Just get it done. Pull the trigger. and get it done.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're pissing around at, but Tony Khan seems to do this a lot. Either feuds go too long or they don't start when they should.
I think that's the trouble with AEW, though. With WWE, even though this might be changing, they have a pay-per-view every month, whereas AEW have one every 3 months, so they have to drag out stuff sometimes. And this is one of them things. Straight up after this, I actually had an image of Baker. I didn't realise, so there we go. There's the image of Baker. I didn't even realise I took one. We had Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida. So I like this match, 3 stars. Shida always puts on a good match. And Storm is getting better matchy quality again. Like, she was kind of like flailing in AEW for a while, but and there was good matches. And it ended up with Storm hitting a straight up Storm Zero to pick up the win. Good match, 3 stars, I said. And then this ended up with Hayter coming out and Rebel battering the hell out of Tony Storm. And then someone comes down before the person I'm about to mention. I can't remember who it was because I haven't even wrote their name. Who came down to save Storm before the surprise return? Or did they come down? No, it was Baker. Sorry, Baker came down. She had an entrance. That's what it is. I remember I pictured an entrance.
Right.
For some reason, Baker had an entrance. She came down.
You threw me off then.
Yeah, because all I remember is there was an entrance before the person I'm about to bring up. Baker came down, and then out of nowhere, and I'm happy to say this, I don't know if you care, but Rio's back.
Yeah, no, don't care.
Oh, fuck it. I love Rio. She's great. I love her wrestling, especially in TJWP and stuff like TJPW, sorry. She's good in... And she always had good matches in AEW.
I can't take her seriously.
Yeah, it's because you're Jim Cornette. That's what it is.
Riho.
There we go. Anyway, moving on. We had probably one of the best promos in the last year. Not promo battles. Which was... I've missed a lot of stuff here because I don't have the image. FTR want to win the AEW titles. They've been number 1 contenders for about 60 years now. Swerve in their glory are going to challenge them for the number 1 contendership on, I don't know if it was Rampage or Dynamite next week.
I feel like it was Dynamite.
Yeah. Lethal and Darby had an interview. That's a match again. I don't want to see Lethal versus Darby again.
No, didn't want to see it the first time.
It's just there, and it's just there. There's no build to it. Now back to what I was on about. So Regal was down in the ring having an interview. MJF comes down and cuts one of his better promos. Last week's promo was pants, and I mentioned it on the show, but I think he kind of doubled down on this promo, and it was great. He discussed how he had a tryout at WWE. Regal said, "How old are you?" After he was saying, "I'll get you a job. I don't put my name on many people. I put my name on." It was like Danielson, Cesaro, Moxley, the Combat Club. Then he said he was 19, and Regal said, "You're kind of too young at the moment, but if you keep emailing every month like a promo and stuff like that, we'll keep you in the loop." So he emailed him, and then he had a reply, which you would say is kind of like automated reply. That's what I'd go with. He did it again. He had a second automated reply, and then the third time, Regal coming back went, "I'm a busy man. This promo here, this is why you're basically an indie level talent, basically." And he's like, MJF was tearing at this and kind of story, and he's saying that he read this email every day. And then obviously MJF fired him. He went, "You've made the biggest mistake of your life with this." And then the crowd were going, "You effed up," and stuff like that. And then Regal came back brilliantly. I was wondering where Regal would come from this, because he was smart, and he went, "If an email did this to you, you don't really deserve to be here." It's like kind of stuff like that. And it was so good, the promo. I can't give it justice. Watch it. Best part of Dynamite. So good.
Absolutely. I agree.
I loved so much of it. Regal was great. MJF's so good.
Yeah, people are speculating whether, because it was very facey from MJF. I don't want face MJF. Please don't give me face MJF.
I don't know.
He's a heel. He only ever needs to be one.
It depends how they go, because the end of the show, when we get there, that part of the end of the show, kind of,
the vibe he gives me is that if they turn him face, will be Randy Orton face. So nobody is Randy Orton face. It's horrendous. He's good with Riddle, but Randy Orton face on his own, horrendous. That is what I feel like MJF would be like. We don't need it. He's so good as a heel.
I want him to be. If they do it as like an anti-hero thing, maybe it'll work. As in, like, he's a idiot, but like, I was trying to say every word, but yeah. Either way, great. This was followed by the acclaimed title versus trademark. Why is this a thing? Like, I don't care. It's just that. Why is this happening? They had a great segment. We'll bring this up again. You brought this up last week, and it's already telling. Renee Paquette, great addition. She's not Brock Lesnar. Why are we advertising everything she appears on? And it's gone. She's just an interviewer. Like, I love Renee and I love her podcast and stuff like that. But it's it's like
She's not draw. You're not going to get 1 million viewers because you got Renee Paquette.
Yeah, it's like if Conrad Thompson turned up on AEW. Like, you know, it's Conrad. He's great, but it's just like
he's not going to draw you viewers.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it, but they kept bringing her up. The BCC interview was fine though. There was dissension in the ranks because Bryan Daniel was saying he's going to be like a future champion Garcia, and then Wheeler Yuta, like he was saying he was the best wrestler, and Wheeler Yuta got really annoyed by this, which fair enough, you know, you're sitting next to him and he's like, what am I then? So they're showing a bit of dissension in the ranks, which I think is going to be a double turn, because Garcia did a double turn, so I think that's going to be a double turn at some point, and Wheeler Yuta is going to be dissented, but he's not.
Yeah.
We had up next Jericho's Ring of Honor tour versus Dalton Castle. I enjoyed this match. I like Dalton Castle. I rated it 3.25 stars. Jericho kept kicking out of his finishes, which I don't like though. But the finish, I loved the finish though. The actual like out of nowhere Judas effect, it looked brutal.
Yeah, I was gonna say he sold it well, Dalton Castle.
Yeah.
He made me laugh where he reached into his pants and just like stuck his fingers up at Jericho. I was just like, yep, that was mint.
Yeah,
that was everything you need.
No, and it was good. I don't like the throwing of the boys kind of like when Jericho just lying here. That's kind of a bit hammy, but like the rest was great. This was followed by Jericho doing a promo where he was saying, you know, I've took out this guy, I've took out this guy, I've took out the ring announcer, and now I'm even going to take out a commentator. And he was about to absolutely obliterate Ian Riccaboni. And then Jerry Lynn, of all people, come down, and Jericho tombstone Jerry Lynn. And I don't know if they're going to have a match, and I don't mind seeing it. Like, Jerry Lynn's been retired for a bit, but I like Jerry Lynn. I don't mind seeing. I can see him putting on a good match.
I was going to say he went on like a full retirement tour because he was over here for a bit. Mm-hmm. I remember that was a few years ago. So yeah, he has been retired a while.
Let's have a look what Jerry Lynn. Let's have a look when his last match was. Jerry Lynn.
I would say it was 3 or 4 years ago.
I need to click on Jerry Flynn then. I don't know who that is. Matches 2013.
Oh, wow. Even longer. So 9 years.
He went out with a bang. So it was Jerry Lynn defeats Horace the Psychopath, JB Trask, and then Sean Waltman. So Sean Waltman was in it.
Oh. Was that in... I feel like that was in Mexico for some reason.
Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
Via Mexico.
I feel like it was... Yeah, no, I felt like he definitely... I'm just thinking about something completely different. Probably.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and I can't see any match in Mexico here, so...
No. Probably...
you're on about Jerry Flynn? That's who you're on about.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, that's a thing. So I'm looking forward to that if that becomes a match. I'm hoping it becomes a match. I want to see Jerry Flynn wrestle again. Followed up by this was the baddies. Cargill wants the title back. She's going to turn up on Rampage and she's going to take the show hostage if she doesn't get a title back. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the main event, which was my match of the night, and it didn't even end properly. And I really enjoyed this main event. It was brutal. Yeah. Hangman took it so Moxley was coming down in his 15-minute entrance, and Hangman cut it short by walking the crowd and beating the crap out of him. Did like a moonsault off the top of the stairway. Both guys battered each other. Moxley was bleeding.
Because he does.
Yeah. But I didn't mind this one. They were battering each other like hard moves, and then out of nowhere, the match just suddenly ends. So what happens is Moxley does his famous King Kong lariat where he clotheslines the hell out of him, but he actually clotheslined the hell out of him. Hangman looked like the ref instantly noticed Hangman was done. Like, he couldn't move, he was out cold. There was like 10 minutes of Dynamite left, so there was a good 10 minutes of the show where they were going to continue. They threw up the X symbol, and then they had to announce that Moxley won the title. Well, kept the title, retained the title. And then I was wondering how they were going to do it. And then, the wheel off Hangman, and they go to a bit of a break. Moxley comes back and starts talking. And he challenges MJF, says, come on down, fight me, this is what you think. MJF is rushing down with a ref. He gets into the ring. He cans the chip, and it's going to happen. And then he rolls out the ring, and I'm like, oh, he's been MJF, great. And then MJF puts a good face-ish promo where he goes, if I'm going to beat you, John Moxley, I'm going to beat you when you're 100%. I'm going to, and then the final line, which I'm going to botch this because I can't remember it exactly. I'm going to do it the right way for once, I think it was, or something like that. I'm going to earn it for once. That was it. I'm going to earn it for once to earn it. Yeah. I love that. Oh, God. But yeah, that was a good way to end Dynamite, especially on the fly. I don't know if that was supposed to happen still, because it sounds like it may have. Because it sounds like it could have still happened, but I like the end of it. Yeah,
it was a good bad ending, if you can put it that way, because it's a bad ending the way that the match ended with Hangman, and fair play is all right, which is good. But it was a good ending in the way that they ended it with Mox and MJF. And the MJF saying I'm going to earn it was a good touch.
Yeah, definitely. And Dynamite wasn't. I'd say Dynamite was good. I was going to say it wasn't bad. It was Dyn. 4 matches.
Yeah.
There was some mismatch crap in the middle, which is always going to be on Dynamite, but it's the same on every wrestling show. And overall, there was good matches. There was 4. Well, hold on. So Best Friends was 3. Shida was 3. All the matches were plus 3 stars, so I can't really doubt it was a good show.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, as long as there's good wrestling and the storytelling gets a little bit better, they could book things a little bit better. But we still forget that they're like 3 years old. He's still going to make mistakes. He still needs a lot of help. But eventually he'll learn.
Exactly.
And hopefully we'll get better shows. But the show wasn't, like I said, it wasn't unwatchable. So.
Yeah, and for some reason, your camera's froze on OBS, but it's not frozen, so we're just going to continue because we're at the end now. So there's no point kind of faffing it around. So Frozzy is here.
I am here. If I'm frozen on screen, it's just because I am very stoic in my movements.
Yeah, at least you're not frozen on a bad, where you have the usual, you could be frozen. You're just frozen like this. It looks like you're doing a seduction face.
Yeah, like, hello. Right, well, we're going to end the show there, I think, on my seduction face that no one's seen, thank God. But yeah, as always, like, subscribe, comment down below. We'll put our links all in the video description to join the Discord as well. Follow us on Twitter at the HCW Show. We appreciate all the follows, all the interaction that we get on there. And our individual Twitter handles are underneath the screen, I am assuming. Because Rate does this.
It's been there forever, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, fun week of wrestling. Hopefully next week, if it's an improvement on this week, it'll just be another good week.
And more than likely, we'll be on Twitch this weekend, hopefully.
Yes, we are looking at a stream on Twitch at some point. I don't think TEW is going to be ready for this weekend. I'm going to do my best tomorrow to get as much done as I can. But if not, we will play some random games. We'll find some online games somewhere that we can play. Maybe do a little bit of a quiz if we get a few people joining. Maybe get a bit of interaction, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully we'll be streaming on Twitch tomorrow.
Exactly.
Friday. Yeah. Not tomorrow, Friday. But yeah, that is all from the show today. So it's a goodbye from me.
Stradrova.
From Ray.